In this video, I'm going to be going over the very impressive Logosol F2 chainsaw mill. I love milling anyways. I fell in love with it after building my bandsaw mill, but to have a piece of equipment that is this put together, well thought out, and accurate, it makes me giddy. Let me take you through its features, my experience on using it, and why I wanted a chainsaw mill when I already have a giant bandsaw mill. Actually, let me start there. If you haven't been following my channel, I built a giant bandsaw mill that has a large cutting capacity. It is a tank and wonderful to have such a big piece of equipment in my arsenal. However, it is definitely not portable. I have to always bring the logs to it, and sometimes I found that to be a challenge. So one of the biggest advantages to a chainsaw mill over a bandsaw mill is that you can take it to the logs. I have used a few chainsaw mills on the market. In fact, I did a video last year on the Grandberg system. And that is worlds and above better than using a homemade rig such as a ladder. But it's only a portable flat referencing surface, whereas this Logosol is an all-in-one milling machine. I can't come up with anything better. That's accurate. It's durable and stable, meaning accurate. It holds the log off the ground for easy milling. It has a built-in lift system. It doesn't rust. It's dirt repellent, so there's zero maintenance. And on top of it all, it's portable. Now, do you see why I'm giddy? Logosol is a Swedish company, and I actually attended a conference of theirs last year where I got to see the equipment for the first time and put my hands on it. And just a side note, if you're impressed with this unit, just wait until you see their other mills, like their bandsaw mill or their wide slabber. They are just as well thought out and functional as this one. But going back to wanting a chainsaw mill. One huge advantage to a chainsaw mill over a bandsaw mill is that it's portable. This F2 Logosol can be disassembled so that the entire unit can fit into the back of a truck or even the back of an SUV. This way, when I get a call about logs that are in a location where getting a truck and trailer isn't an option, I can park in front and then carry the mill to the spot with the logs. Or, more commonly, if I get a call about several logs but they're hours away, instead of having to make multiple trips to get the logs back home on a trailer, I can load this up, spend the day slabbing on site, and then stack the trailer full of cut slabs to bring home. The entire unit is made with aluminum, which not only drastically cuts down on the weight, but it also means you can leave it outside indefinitely without it rusting. So, no need to pack it up or cover it up after a day of milling. Dirt doesn't stick to it either, so you can easily wipe it off, grab your chainsaw, and head in for the day. I've currently had my mill sitting out for months now, and it looks just as beautiful as the day I first got it. Now let's talk about features. This mill is slick. Being around tools and equipment for a minute now, I can certainly appreciate a well thought out tool that not only does what it's supposed to do accurately, but is also easy to use. And bonus points if you can make it look this sharp and beautiful at the same time. This mill comes in different length options, but I opted for the shortest length, which is around 4 meters, or 13 feet for us Imperial users. The longest is 6 meters, or just under 20 feet. But it's worth noting, and again acknowledging Logosol for their thought process, that the F2 is built with a smart modular system that allows for different extensions. So there are multiple options for extending the wings up to an additional 2 meters. This means, of course, you can keep it at its full length, or you can keep it at its most compact size, then quickly add on extension should you catch a big whale, or big fish, a big tree. Catch a big tree. I'm not good at analogies. For holding down material, the mill comes with a really savvy cam locking system on a sliding track system so that you have plenty of flexibility no matter where the log end lands. To use it, you slide the clamp up against the log, tighten it down on the track, and then lever over the cam lock to hold it securely in place. One of my favorite features on it is adjusting for the depth of cut. All of the legs come with a ruler attached to it so that it is extremely simple to not only keep the log level from end to end, resulting of course in a straight cut, but also to set up for whatever thickness of slab you want. You adjust the height by turning the handles on each leg, which is lifted up by way of a ratcheting system. Every time you hear a click, the log has been lifted 1/4 of an inch. So after making a cut, if I want a 2-inch slab, I turn the handle 8 clicks, then listen for 8 clicks on the other, and then I can start on the next cut. Personally, I love the sound association. It's quick, it's easy, it's accurate, but if I were to lose track of the clicks, then of course looking at the ruler to set the depth is another way of easily doing it. For the chainsaw, there is a lightweight saw carriage that comes with the mill that very quickly attaches to your chainsaw and allows it to slide effortlessly along the track in a very smooth and straight fashion. There is also an attachment that can be added which will reach out and hold on to the end of the bar to give it more stability to make a straight cut. So on your setup, it's important to have the wings flat and straight since this is the reference for your carriage, but it's also important to have the bar stabilized. Then if those two things are good, you'll just need to focus on the feel sound of the cut and adjust your pace to either slow down or speed up. Since I mentioned setup, let's go ahead and cover that really quick. The mill comes in a few different boxes with all of the components clearly labeled and laid out. It might look like a lot when first opening up everything and getting started, but the assembly instructions are by far some of the best I've worked with, so it came together very easy. I was continuously impressed with the smart solutions for joining things together, adding stability but keeping it lightweight, and how all of the parts fit together like a glove.
Yeah, it feels good.
As an end user of products, I can certainly appreciate when companies take the extra time it requires to make a good set of easy to follow instructions. Now to use the mill, you place a log on the bed spanning the two legs. Clamp it down with the cam locks, then you can make your face cut, which gives you the top flat plane.
This is so cool.
I would personally lift the chainsaw carriage up on the wings to get it set onto the tracks and then start the engine in place. For moving the carriage, you can either move it manually by pushing it, or the mill does come with a winch system that can be installed, which goes from the carriage to the end of the wing and then back so that you can crank on the handle to feed it through the cut. After making it to the end of the cut, you can remove the slab, then slide the saw back to the start position before using the lift system to raise the log up to the slab's next thickness. Of course, the speed of cut will vary depending on the saw you have, the diameter, length, and hardness of wood you're cutting, but here I was cutting Texas mesquite, which is one of the hardest woods on the Jinka hardness scale, and it was taking me just at a minute to make a cut. So not very much time at all to get through this entire log. Now, I think it's incredible that the mill can handle such a long log, but if you're like me and also have some short stock, a simple workaround is to make a quick and cheap jig out of 2x4s or 2x6s to lay in between the two legs. This will cradle the log so that it won't roll away, but also allow it to span in between the mill's legs. This jig is simple enough to set into place, but then I just toss it to the side until it's needed again. Okay, and since I'm sure I'm going to get asked on comparisons between the two, I mentioned the Granberg system earlier, and that system is a little bit less expensive and will provide you a portable flat reference to cut slabs from. However, it doesn't come with the way of holding the log stable or up off the ground. Once you get into milling, you'll quickly realize how important log holding can be. It is lightweight and definitely portable, but now that I've been using this all-in-one Logosol F2 for the past few months, I cannot imagine going back to anything else. And that's why if you're choosing to get serious about milling as a side gig or even a full-time gig, then the F2 is definitely the unit that I recommend. It is at a convenient height, it's lightweight, portable, and I love, love, love that I can set it up out in the woods without it rusting or causing problems. All I have to do is tote the saw in after I'm done and then carry it out when I'm ready to go again. If you've been following along with my story, then you'll know that I'll be selling slabs at my new commercial building called the Woodshed. So if you're interested, then yes, these slabs will be for sale. And yes, I am interested if you're in the area and have logs to slab up. But also, Logosol is a Swedish company and they currently have a distributor on the East Coast and the West Coast, however nothing in Central. So after being completely impressed with this unit, I am actually going to be stocking inventory of the F2 sawmills at the Woodshed. So if you're interested in seeing one in person and putting your hands on one before purchasing, then please stop in at the Woodshed. I would be happy to walk you through a unit in person. Okay, and that's gonna wrap up this video. I have left you lots of links down below to all of my milling related videos that I've already produced, Logosol's videos on the F2 as well as their other pieces of equipment. All right, I will see you on whatever I'm working on next.